Hi guys, it's West Coast Arachnids. Bringing another on the spot tea talk. This time it's more of a tarantulas can take more than they look. Look at tarantulas, I guess you'd say. You can see these guys here, and their enclosures are just a mess, and the reason of that is they fell off the shelf. I was cleaning underneath there, putting some boxes away, and this wire caught everything and pulled these enclosures out, and I didn't really see them coming down as I was bent down under trying to get them past the leg of that table there. So I pulled them over, they hit the floor. That's about a 2-foot drop, I guess. These, and the reason I was doing this is I was cleaning off the other shelf, getting everything ready. These are all going to be moved. These are my Pamphibedius fortis. Now, I seen one, I can't remember which one it was. There he is. He's kind of sitting right there on the side. He's fine. I haven't seen this one yet. I'm assuming he's still alive underneath there, buried, but we're going to find out. This here is the shelf that I was emptying and cleaning up. I hadn't really got to the bottom yet, but most of that stuff's going to stay down there either way. Just going to clean out those 1 gallon enclosures there. I might use those for my Pyraminia. I mean, right now they're in one of those up there, and one of them's made a pretty decent home, but the other one, you know, it's kind of burrowed itself in. It's not a burrowing species, but it's made itself a nice little tunnel. But I haven't seen it in weeks, so we're going to get them out of there and put them into those taller ones. All this stuff is going to be moved into a completely different room. But right now I'm going to pause you. As you can see, these are kind of overloaded with these little enclosures here. I'm going to move them all over. Actually, I'm going to move these big ones over to the left and keep the smaller ones here nearer to the lights, as they're not I'm going to need to regulate their heat a little more than I will with the larger ones, as they're still tiny. But pause you for a sec. Okay, that's a little better. I'm going to move these guys. These 4 are going to go up. This is my other Pamphibedius. He survived the earthquake. And the Theraphosinai species Costa Rica. Sorry about the camera work. Doing this with no help. Just get my helper over here. I think he's coming over tomorrow. We're gonna transfer all those teas downstairs. There's a bunch that I've transferred already. The GBBs, the blue fang. Sadly, one died on day 6. It's now, I believe, the 16th. So this is about day 8 or 9, 10 maybe. Anyway, I don't know what happened to that one. It just died. Apparently they're a little tougher to take care of. It looked fine. It was eating. And yeah, I transferred it into here. It actually ate. Started to build a web, and then it crawled over near the water dish, and just next day it was dead. I have no idea. This one here, I haven't looked at it today, but there it is. Kind of in this little bubble, those little orange thing there, that's his legs. Sorry about the shakiness. He's doing awesome. He, she, whatever it is, right now, I guess. So, time to deal with these guys. Sorry, I'm out of breath. I've been really sorting this place out. But it's a mess. Like, you can see everything's all over the bloody place. I've got stuff everywhere. That room over there, that far door, that's where you'll be seeing the videos from Probably a little later, maybe tomorrow, we might move things over there. Still need to clean up in there a bit. Anyway, let's get these guys sorted here, unburied. I'm gonna try and set something up here that I can put this on so you can hear me. If I don't do that, the mic gets covered up. If I put it on something flat, a flat surface, and then you can't hear the thing I'm saying. I just gotta check. Yeah, the mic's there, but it's behind the dish, so hopefully you guys can hear me. I'll try and speak up. This here is what I'm gonna put this in, but for now I need to get that one tee out, and we'll just focus on that one right away. And he's out and alive. He's moving around great. Doesn't look any worse for wear, other than, you know, a little bit dirty. Now, this wouldn't be the first time this has happened to me, and I'm sure that a lot of you guys have had this happen as well. You know, accidental tea dumpings, doing transfers, blah blah blah. He's trying to strike at the brush. So what I'm going to do is just try and get him out of here into this enclosure for a moment. Now we're just going to kind of set him to the side, and hopefully he doesn't bugger off. I'm sure he won't. I'll do this quickly enough. So get all the moss out that I can. This is just sphagnum moss. It's Exoterra brand sterile moss. You just soak it in water, wring it out like you would a cloth, and then set it out. And you can either let it dry or use it wet, depending on your needs. But I like to rinse it out a bit, as it tends to be a little muddy. But I'm sure it's going to be fine. You can even, if you're worried about it, give it a really hot water bath to sterilize it, just in case you think there might be, you know, a rip in there and mites got in or something got in there. If you're worried about it, give it a bath and everything should be okay. After that, just don't stick your hands in there and try to rinse out the moss after it's been in a hot water bath, or you're going to burn your fingers. So, easy fix. Try and get some of this dirt off, but oh well, good enough for now. And then we're just going to place the moss in. Now this is a little bit for humidity for this species. Now I'm not going to soak these down or anything, or the enclosure, but I will miss that moss. If I have to take it out, what I'll do is take it out, and then you know, give it a rinse under, you know, underneath either bottled water or water that's been sitting for a few days. Just tap water. It's not going to hurt it. And then just wring it out and put it back in. You can also go through the whole process of the hot water bath again if you want to clean it. Same with the substrate, that can be cleaned as well. I mean, if you want to reuse it, get all the web out of there and all the dead things. Make sure everything's out of there. Maybe even screen it, you know, put it through a screen and then put it into a pan and bake it. 250 degrees for a couple hours. 200 to 230. I wouldn't go too high, but anything over 200 there, between 200 and 250 at tops. I wouldn't go higher than that, but it is cocoa fiber. Some of this can catch fire, and you can either bake it or you can do a hot water bath and strain it out and then just wring it out and do the same thing as you did with the moss. It's fine. Kill any mites or anything that may be living. I'm just going to rinse out this water dish and we'll get them in there. Now, I didn't do anything special with the water dish, just rinsed it under tap water. Should be fine. Unless you're in a place that you have warnings about your tap water and you need to boil your water, then I would be a little bit concerned. You might want to just boil it and let it cool and use it as directed by your community. So let's get you out of there. I've showed this in videos before, as you leave the edge of this on the outer side so that he'll feel this lip of the ring and they'll actually crawl onto it. If you have a spider that, you know, it keeps going back in, it's probably because he can't feel the edge and he's like, I'm not gonna jump into the abyss. So they are smarter than they look. They know not to tumble off of cliffs, I suppose. So there we are, sorted. That's Pemphibidius species fortis, or Pemphibidius fortis number 1. Number 3 is in the back, fine. Oh, he never took a tumble. This guy here I haven't seen yet. So we're gonna go through this carefully. First off, there's the water dish. I'm gonna pull that out and I'm gonna dump it. He's not in the water dish. He's not in there, so we'll put the moss off to the side. And he's too big to have been in that clump of dirt, so I'm not worried about that. My guess is he's somewhere buried under there. Now, I don't see him. Well, the best thing to do is look underneath and look around, and there he is, sure enough. He's right here in the corner. So what I'm going to do is you just want to carefully, let's get some light on here. You want to get everything away from there. Now I looked underneath and I saw him buried at the bottom into one of these little nubs. If you can see that on there, it just sticks out. Which is why I like these so much. There he is, seems to be moving. Yeah, he's fine. It's very crumbly, light. Like the substrate is not wet. That's important when you're putting this stuff in here, is make sure if it's wet, dry it out for a good 3 days to a week and let it get to the point where it's just crumbly. You can't pack it. You can't squeeze it into like a ball and it won't stay. It'll just crumble apart. That's the point where you want to put it in and then just press it all down. So we're going to get this guy out of here. Maybe what we'll do for now is just get him out onto the moss. And then I'm just going to check through here for bits of moss that I can pull out that are big. Just roll through it. And you can see that there's quite a bit of substrate in there. It's about half full, all crumbled up like that. I don't want to dump it on them. And then what I do is I just take something like this. I've got a bigger one, and I just tamp it down all the way around firmly. You want this to be packed as tight as possible. You can even use a type of loam if you have a burrowing species that you don't want the substrate to cave in on them. Go to your garden center, they sell loam there. Try to get organic so it has no pesticides. You can even make your own. It's just a 1/3% sand and clay mix, so a 15% clay, 15% sand, and that's a little under a third, but either way, it's a good number to go by, start at anyway. And then the rest, just either, you know, substrate like this, eco earth, cocoa fiber, or just some type of potting soil that doesn't have any fertilizer in it. and then just use that, mix it all up, get it a little wet, get it in the enclosure and press it down nice and tight, and that'll keep moisture in, it'll keep the drainage, and it will also pack it down a little tighter so that when your tarantula burrows, it's not like cocoa fiber. It's not gonna get all fluffy when it dries and then start caving in on your spider. It's gonna stay firm. But you need to make sure that that loam is has no pesticides in it, and you need to make sure that everything's cleaned. I would rinse the sand out thoroughly, boil it, and the clay, that's a little tougher. You just need to make sure that it's organic and hasn't been pulled from somewhere that's, you know, been sprayed with pesticides out in the woods. Just gonna rinse this bowl and we'll put her back in. Okay. Now, I should probably put water in this, I suppose. I didn't put any water in the other one yet. So with this guy, he's already on there. So, okay, he's not on there anymore. We'll just grab this, put it in there. You can decorate it how you like, but I just like to put it in there, leave it kind of fluffy so it's moving around a little bit. If they want to mold it, they'll shape it and web it up and make it their own. Now this guy here, I'm just going to put it like this so the lip is down low. It's actually below level. Let me show you. So that lip of this plastic that the spider is in is underneath there, and it's important that you don't go like this and try and put it in so thinking that it's going to reach down and jump onto the moss. It won't. It'll crawl back in. If you have it down lower, then it'll feel this edge and it'll climb up over even higher, and then you can remove this and push it farther into the enclosure you want it into. And if all goes well, you should do just that. Now see, he's just crawling straight up, and if I didn't have that lip for him to grab onto, he would just back up and turn around. Easy peasy. Okay, good enough. Clean this lid off a little bit. Just dump it onto the moss. And it tipped, it kind of stuck to the top, but all the water spilled out of the dish and got a little of the substrate wet. Alphabetes Ford is number 1, so this is number 2. Make sure his legs are not in there. Put him away. And we're gonna give this guy some water. He still hasn't climbed down. He will. Now I watch these guys take on crickets at this size, and they will strike at your brush or anything that you put near them the second you put them in there. These are very good, they have a very good feeding response. So don't put your fingers in there first. You should never do that with any species of tarantula. I'm really not comfortable with you up that high, buddy. Go down a little bit. There we go. His legs were a good ½ centimeter from the lid, but I don't really particularly like it that far. This guy's out to play. I haven't seen him in a while. This is Thanx Costa Rican. As you've seen, I got the labeler going, so I've got to make up another 120 of these labels, maybe a little more. But yeah, that's it. Back in there. They're redone homes that I just did. I think I put them in there last night. I gave them a feed in there right away. They took it. About 5-week-old cricket. It was probably, the body of it was as big as the body of the tarantula. So they took it down no problem. They just simply overpower it. So we got those. I'm going to fill the rest of this shelf up with little guys. I'm going to fill all these shelves up. I'll probably move some of these over. I'm going to leave those guys there, as I redid the shelving there so that they would just fit. So that's perfect. But I will actually take all these tarantulas out of each shelf, and those ones at the bottom are going to be moved over to the left. I'm going to clean all these shelves off, dust them, and water all my teas. And they were just fed a few days ago, so they're good to go for another week or two. And I'll continue pumping out the smaller feeding videos on a daily basis. I haven't done it for a day, so I'll probably upload this one and put it up, and then tomorrow continue on with the other feeding videos. Okay, that's On the Spot Tea Talk. Thanks for watching. Y'all have a great day. Take care, and bye for now.